Welcome back to another Sunday reset where I plan, shop and prep for the week to come as a busy working couple with 3 young kids and 1 on the way. I'll take you through what I do, including recipes, tips and tricks, and setting yourself up for success for the week.
Hello and welcome back to another Sunday reset with me on here. I'm so excited. I haven't done one of these for months and months and months, and I really appreciate all your comments and your messages and your followers on my other social media just to check in and see what's happening. I'm expecting my 4th and final baby in a couple of months. I have placed a click and collect order at Coles and I'm about to go get that. And then obviously when I get back, we'll get stuck into it. Today we're going to be making, you've seen me make these before, but it's because I'm obsessed with them, and right now it's all I can think about being pregnant. So I'm going to do some protein pancakes for my breakfast in the morning. I'm going to be making some sous vide chicken and cutting up all my salads and all of that ready for the week. Now the sous vide chicken only lasts for about 3 days. I like to do it on a Sunday and then again on a Wednesday. And then that sous vide chicken will go in my wraps or salads that I have. And also it'll be good for David to take to work with some rice. So a really quick, easy like lunch meal for him. I'm also going to be making some zucchini slice, some Milo kind of like Bliss balls for the kids. And I'm going to be making a double batch because I'm going to freeze some of those. I'm going to be making some peanut butter and chocolate bites, which again, I'm not sure if I've made it on here on YouTube, but it's a recipe that's on my website as well. And it's really good. And I like to have them at night when I just want like a sweet treat or something like that. What else are we going to be making? I'm going to be prepping just some raspberry sorbet for my Ninja Creami Deluxe. So I have got one of those since I've been on here with you guys. I'm going to be getting some hard-boiled eggs ready for just some snacks for me. I'm also going to make some protein panna cotta, which again is just the jelly and the yogurt together. And that's because when I went through all of my pantry items, I realized I had so much of that jelly. So I'm going to be trying to use that up. And the kids have been actually really enjoying it too, which is excellent. So I'll make some like mini ones for them and then some for David and I as well. And then in terms of dinners, the only dinner I'm going to prep today is a sweet potato based barbecue chicken pizza, which we'll have for dinner tonight. But the other meals I'm going to be making throughout the week. So I've got 2 slow cooker meals. I'm out for dinner one of the nights and a couple of other meals that are quick and easy. My kids have also been loving getting involved with cooking with me, which just makes my heart so happy. So I've been doing a couple of meals customized where I can do it with them after school or on the weekends whenever they want to. And I take in turns with which child wants to help me. And so I've put some easier meals in there, and I'll hope to hopefully film those for you and get those up maybe next week or whenever I can. So anyway, I'm going to head off to Coles now to get what I need, and then I'll come back and show you everything and to get started. We also went to Costco as a family, and so we've got stocked up of a lot of different items as well. So this one was a little bit lower spend, but I just had to top up all the items that I either don't buy from Costco due to price, or just needed smaller quantities, or they just don't have it at Costco. So I'll unpack this and then go through it with you. All right, so here's what we got. We'll start off with the dairy. So I've got some milk, some cheese, and then I've got some of the meats as well there. Some of the pantry items or my everything else category. I've got some granola. I've got some biscuits and some condensed milk to make the Milo Bliss balls. I've got some yogurt here for like breakfast and things like that, but also the protein pancakes and also the protein panna cottas. Got some kids toothpaste. We're having a tandoori chicken kind of wraps and some homemade wedges for later in the week. So that's what that one's for. I'm going to make some dates, like those Snickers that I've seen kind of everywhere over like TikTok and everything like that, where you put some peanut butter and then some chocolate and some sea salt with some dates. We've got some of that as well. And then I've got some different stocks there, and this one's going to be for the green curry that I've got later in the week. I'm going to have some slow cooked lamb shanks, so I've got some red wine for that. And then we've got our fruits. We've got lots of grapes. The kids have been loving grapes and they're a really good price at the moment. Got some bananas, different apples, pears, watermelon, different berries. I've got some lettuce, and then I've got some veg for the different meals I've got to make. I've got some potato for the homemade wedges as well. And then I've got some sweet potato for the sweet potato based pizza. And this one can be for wraps, but as well as that's also going to go on the pizza, and also the slow cooked taco rice as well. And again, various meals. So that's my shopping haul from Coles, and I will add the prices of the different categories as well if you're interested. So whenever I do a click and collect, I make sure everything is here and that the quality is good and all the produce is fresh. And then I'll get on to putting some of it away, putting some of it over the other side that I'm going to be using, and then I get on to washing my fruit and veg. So let's do that. When it comes to washing my fruit and vegetables, I do wash it when I get home, and then I prep and store it if it's needing to be prepped and stored. So for example, I like all the fruit to be washed and ready to go. One, this helps with saving time with doing school lunch boxes, but it's also really good like grab and go snacks for the kids, especially in the fridge. Once they see it all in front of them in glass containers, they see what they want and they can just take it. And then any dinner prep that I can do without the vegetables going bad throughout the week, I will do on the Sunday as well. For example, I'm going to be cutting up some carrots and capsicum for a green curry for later in the week, and some carrots for the slow cooked lamb shanks as well. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to be doing so that when it comes to actually making those meals, it's a lot quicker because half the ingredients are already prepped. And how I like to wash my fruit and vegetables is using the Koala Eco fruit and veg wash. And I just give my sink a bit of a clean out first. I fill it with cool water, add a little bit of this, and I soak for about 10 to 15 minutes. Berries though, I only soak for 1 to 2 minutes because otherwise they can become waterlogged, which then will reduce their shelf life as well. So I basically just give them kind of a dip in and out, and then start cutting them and storing them with a little bit of paper towel. So I'll do that now. So now that I've filled up my sink with cool water and the Koala Eco, I'm going to pop all my fruit and veg in, and then I'm going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes while I get all the other ingredients and everything else I need for the prep today. One tip I do have when washing things like this that you're going to dry and that are a lot smaller, just put them in a colander or strainer. This one goes straight into the spinner that I'm going to use. It helps keep all the fruit and veg together that are a bit smaller. My fruit and veg are getting a wash now, and then what I'll do is I'll grab everything else out that I need so that I can start. It's the most efficient way to do my Sunday resets or my meal prep. If I have everything in the ones, I can just grab all those ingredients, put them together, and I can start my meal. It makes it so much quicker. So I've got all my ingredients ready to go. So this saves so much time when you've got it all together. I also get out any pans that I need or containers I'm going to use, just so I'm always ready. So everything's just accessible. So that way I can save a lot of time by just grabbing exactly what I need for that one meal and doing it from start to finish instead of going back and forth to the pantry or into drawers or into the fridge. I've got, same for like the zucchini slice, I've got what I'm going to be using, and all of that is there. Some of the ingredients will double up between meals, but that's all right. When I finish a meal, I'll use one of the other ingredients. But that is how I set up, ready for a Sunday reset or a meal prep session. So I'm going to do some sous vide chicken now. I've got my water bath filled up with warm water, and then I've set the temperature around 65.5 degrees, and that's going to keep that water bath at that constant temperature. So I'm just going to season some chicken and vacuum seal it and then pop it in there, and that's going to cook for an hour. I got this exotic satay seasoning from my local butcher, so I'm going to try that. I normally do like Moroccan seasoning, but I'm going to try that this time. So that's all vacuum sealed and seasoned. So I'm just going to pop it in the water now to cook for about an hour. So I've got my sous vide chicken cooking here. Now, if you've been watching my Sunday resets for a little while, you'll know that I always say that to make the most of my time management, I start from the meal that's going to take the longest. So obviously cooking time, long cooking times will take the longest, and work my way backwards. So I've got the chicken started, and the best thing about this is it's all hands-free. That's what I love, and that's a really good tip for anyone that's doing like meal prep, and if you've got limited time, just try and choose meals that are minimal prep or hands-on. Doesn't matter if they're cooking away, because if they're cooking, then you can be doing something else. And then while that's cooking, the next thing that I'd be starting would be the zucchini slice and the pancakes, because both of them have cooking time and need to go in the oven. But to get to the point of being able to do the zucchini slice, I need to grate the zucchini and dice the onion as well. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get out my food processor, and I'm going to chop up all the vegetables and everything that I need to use the food processor so that I can put that away. So that for me today is going to be grating the zucchini, dicing the onion. So for the zucchini slice, I'm also going to slice some capsicum for my sweet potato pizza, for chicken wraps throughout the week, and also it's going to go in one of my meals throughout the week, so the Mexican rice in the slow cooker. So I'm going to just do all of that in one go. I'm also going to slice some carrot and also grate some carrots. So slice the carrot slices will go in the slow cooked lamb shanks and also the green curry. And then I'm also going to be grating some carrot for my wraps and my salads throughout the week. So that's the kind of process. Now it might take you a while to get to that point, and that's okay. I've been doing this for quite a while, but that's how I break it down to make to have the most efficient time management. I try and bulk things together and just get it done. So yes, I'll end up with quite a few little containers and bowls, but that's okay, because that's all that meal done, or those couple meals done. Okay, so I'm going to start using my food processor. And again, I know I've promised you for a while, and it is going to come. I'm going to be doing this in the next, hopefully 2 weeks or so. I'm going to be doing a video purely on my food processor, because you've seen me use it in a lot of Sunday resets, and it's been quite a requested video of can I go through it with you. So yes, I will. I'll do a dedicated video on that, on how I use it and what attachments I use as well. So I'm going to attach the large bowl on here. I'm going to use this little spindle thing to hold the attachments on, and I'm going to use the grating disc to do that. I'm going to use the coarse side for the zucchini slice. It obviously won't work until you put the pusher in, just for safety. And that is all done for the zucchini slice. And because I've just done zucchini, I'm just gonna keep the zucchini on there, and I'm gonna change the disc to the slicing blade, and I'm gonna make it much wider so you can adjust it. And I'm gonna slice them for the green curry for later in the week. how to slice them up perfectly for the curry. Giving a really quick rinse out. Just pop that back on, and I'm going to put the grating blade back on, but I'm going to do the fine side this time for some carrots. And that's carrot for my salad wraps and salads. So I'm going to do another lot of carrots, but again, I'm going back to the slicing blade, and I've just adjusted it to thinner than the zucchini because it will cook slower than the zucchini in the curry, but still not too thin. And again, sliced carrot for the curry. I'm going to be cutting up quite a bit of capsicum for a few different meals. So I've got the slicing blade, and I've kind of made it about a medium slice there. So I'll pop that on. I'm going to slice up some onion for the sweet potato pizza. For that, I'm going to use the slicing blade again, but I've made it really, really thin. I think I've put it on number 1, so it'll be nice and thin. And that's done. While I've got my processor out, I'm going to use the quad blade. So it comes like that. It's got the quad blade. I love using this one here for crushing up biscuits and things like that. So I'm going to crush up some biscuits for the Milo Bliss bowls. You don't need the spindle, so I'm going to take that out. I'll pop that one in. And I'm going to crush up 2 packets of the Murray biscuits. And that is totally crushed up into a fine crumb. And that is all what I did with the food processor. So it only took me like not even 4 minutes or something to do. And we've got grated zucchini for the zucchini slice. We've got crushed biscuits for the Milo Bliss bowls. We've got the onion and the red capsicum in bowls here because I'll use them on the sweet potato based pizza later. I've got some grated carrots for my lunches. This one here is sliced capsicum, and I'm going to be using that for the taco bowl, the slow cooked taco rice, and also my lunches. And then I've got some prepped veg for the green curry. So I'm going to cook the bacon and the onion for the zucchini slice. There's a lot of recipes that you can just put the bacon straight in there and it'll cook in the zucchini slice. I think this step makes it a little bit nicer, so I always do this. So I just cook it down till they're both cooked through and softened. So I've got 1 large brown onion diced up, and I've also got 200 grams of bacon diced up. I'm just adding a little bit of olive oil. And I am still using the crumble cookware and loving it. I have to say that, I do love it. That's almost ready. It's nice and fragrant now, and it has cooked the bacon and the onions all nice and soft. So I'm just going to take that off and set that aside to just cool down slightly while I get all the other ingredients ready for it. To make this zucchini slice, I'm going to add 5 eggs to my bowl and just lightly whisk them. Then I'm going to add 2/3 of a cup of plain flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm going to stir that through until that's combined. Add 1 cup of cheese, your grated zucchini, and your bacon and onion. Mix all that through. So once that's all mixed through, I'm just going to add it to a lined baking dish with some baking paper and cook in a 180-degree oven for about 30 to 40 minutes until it's nice and golden on top. This zucchini slice is also freezer friendly, so you can make double or triple batches. I just cut them up and put them into individual servings and freeze it like that. And then I grab one out and take it in my work lunch, or defrost it and put it in the kids' school lunches as well. I have also been known to eat this for breakfast, because sometimes when you're in a rush and trying to get to work or to get the kids to school, but you're hungry, it's a great breakfast alternative too. That's all done, and I'm just gonna bake that in the oven. Now we're gonna make my favorite meal prep breakfast, which is a baked protein pancake with raspberry and dark chocolate. So it's super easy. On the website, I have individual serves, but I'm gonna times it by 4 because I'm gonna make it for 4 breakfasts this week. And it's one of the easiest recipes. Basically, you just add everything to the bowl. So that's 280 mils of almond milk. I'm gonna get some scales out to weigh the yogurt. I'm gonna put in 200 grams of vanilla yogurt. I'm using the YoPro yogurt. I find that the best one for this. Do 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. 4 eggs, 280 grams of plain flour, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Just going to whisk that up. Vanilla yogurt adds the most delicious creamy texture to this. Just whisk that until smooth. And the best part about this is that you bake it straight in the glass containers in the oven. No need to stand around and individually cook them. So just divide the batter between the different glass containers. I'm using the Decor 750ml round glass containers here. And I'm going to cook them in the oven at 180 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes until cooked through. Once I've divided up the batter, I'm going to put some dark chocolate and some raspberries in. Now that is the most delicious base, and you can actually add any fruit or anything that you want to it. I like it with dark chocolate chips for a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of a treat, and also some frozen raspberries. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of dark chocolate chips and 2 tablespoons of frozen raspberries. I just like to stir that through, and then I'm going to place them straight in the oven as is, and they will cook straight in the bowl. And then you can, once they cool down, you can put on the lid and store them in the fridge. And each morning you just heat them up. I use these Decor ones because they have a vent and seal lid, so I find they heat up really well. With that, I just pop the vent and put them in the microwave for a minute or 2, and they're perfect. I add a little bit of maple syrup, and that's my breakfast. Okay, so the next one is protein panna cotta. You've seen me make this a few times, but I just wanted to show you the brands that I prefer. So I use the Jelly Light. It's low sugar, raspberry flavored jelly crystals. So I'm going to use 2 packets of them. Now what I do is I empty out the crystals, and then I use the amount of boiling water it says. So I'm going to use 2 cups of boiling water, but instead of the cold water, I'm going to be replacing the cold water with some YoPro yogurt. So again, that's my choice to go in. I find the texture and the thickness works really well with these jelly crystals. So I use the vanilla yogurt, and it's the protein YoPro. And I'm going to dissolve those crystals first before putting in the yogurt. Then we're going to do the same. So 2 cups of the YoPro yogurt. And you're just going to whisk that up until smooth. As not all protein powders are safe in pregnancy, I'm trying to get more protein in while I can in my pregnancy, so I'm opting for you know, more chicken and meat and protein rich foods like eggs, and then things like this that I can have that's pregnancy safe and delicious. And with the low sugar of the jelly, it's not too bad, but it's a nice little sweet treat. And then I'm just going to pour them in individual containers that I can then put a lid on and put them in the fridge. And they take a few hours to set, but I generally do my meal prep and then I have these throughout the week. Here I'm using the Decor Rectangle 600ml. So I'm just going to seal them and put them in the fridge. I'm now going to make some chocolate peanut butter bites, and I'm going to double this recipe because our whole family likes it. All the ingredients that I say today is double the recipe, so you can either halve that or the recipe is on my website as well. So to a bowl you're going to add 2 cups of peanut butter, and I like to use the crunchy peanut butter. My kids' school is a nut-free school, so my kids can't take this as a school snack, but they can have it at home or at night. Half a cup of maple syrup. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're going to stir that, just combine it before putting in the almond flour. We're then just going to add in 2.5 cups of almond flour. I definitely should have used a bigger bowl. I don't normally double it, but we'll see how I go. And you're going to add in a cup of dark chocolate chips or milk chocolate, but I like dark. And then we're just gonna press it into a lined tin, and we're gonna put that in the freezer before covering it with some more chocolate. All right, we're making Milo Bliss bowls for the kids' lunches, and I'm also doubling the recipe so that I can have some in the freezer for another week for the kids. So we're starting off with the crushed biscuits that we did earlier. So 2 packets of the Murray biscuits, 2 tins of sweetened condensed milk, 4 cups of coconut, and 1 cup of Milo. We're just going to mix that all together, and then we're going to roll into balls. So I'm just going to roll them into balls now. So there's the Milo Bliss balls. You can actually roll them in coconut, but I actually like them as is, and so do the kids. So we're just going to have like that. I'm going to put it in the fridge to just firm up a little bit, and then I'm going to divide them and I'm going to freeze half, and I'm going to keep half in an airtight container for up to 5 days. So I'm going to move on to making the sweet potato base for the pizza that I'm going to make. So I need 900 grams of sweet potato, so I'm just going to peel this and chop it up. And you can either steam or just boil this until soft. And then once it's soft, we are going to add some other ingredients to make it into a dough. It is a bit of a sticky dough, but it is so delicious. I have fallen in love with this one. It doesn't make me feel like gross like other pizzas can. And the kids actually really enjoy it. You don't have to feel guilty about eating this one because it has carbs, protein and veggies in it as well, so it's pretty well a full, well-rounded meal. So I just need 900 grams of sweet potato. Perfect, but I'm going to add that one in. So I'm just going to boil this one until it's soft and able to be mashed, and then we'll add some other ingredients which I'll go through, and then we will lay it out on the tray, bake it, and then we'll put all our toppings on. So while I'm waiting for the sweet potato to soften, I'm going to make my last 2 snacks. So I'm going to make the viral date Snickers treat, I guess. So I'm just going to remove the pits and open them up. I'm just going to cut them through, but not all the way through. All right, so I've just cut them all open and removed the little pit, and then all you do is stuff them with some peanut butter and then dip them in a little bit of chocolate and sprinkle some sea salt, and that is it. So I am going to try that. So I'm just using smooth peanut butter. This, for some reason, it feels really therapeutic, and I'm really hoping that we like this because both Dave and I really like Snickers bars, but I'd prefer not to eat them often. A little treat every now and then is fine, but not often. Please let me know in the comments if you have tried these before. All right, I'm just gonna melt some chocolate, then we'll dip it in and add some sea salt. So I'm just gonna dip them in some dark chocolate. These definitely aren't the prettiest looking things, but I'm sure they'll taste delicious. I'm just gonna pop them in the fridge to set the chocolate. So I've just got my peanut butter bites back out of the freezer, so it's all nice and firm and set. And I've melted some chocolate, so I'm just gonna top it with chocolate. So you can keep this in the fridge in an airtight container, but I'm actually going to freeze half of it and keep half in the fridge. I actually don't mind it frozen because it doesn't fully freeze like hard to hurt your teeth, but it stays, you know, fresh for a lot longer that way. I'm just going to pop that back into the freezer like that. You can add a little bit of sea salt if you like, but I think it's fine like that. So I'm just making some raspberry sorbet for my Ninja Creami Deluxe. So I've thawed out about 4.5 cups of frozen raspberries, and I've just added 1/4 cup of water to see if I can puree it. And if it's still a bit too frozen, then I'll add a little bit more water. I'm just gonna add 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just going to place the raspberry sorbet into the Ninja Creami tub. Perfect, and then I will place that in the freezer for 24 hours and then it'll be ready to use. So I'm just finishing off the sweet potato based pizza, so that is nice and soft. I'm going to just mash that down a little bit. And I'm going to add 2 cups of flour, and 2 eggs. Do 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm going to mix that all really well. Now it is going to be a sticky dough, but that's okay. When we spread it out, eventually it will spread out nicely. You can also make this gluten-free by swapping the plain flour with almond flour as well. So that's it, that's the dough. This makes quite a bit of pizza, so I'm going to spread this out onto a large lined baking tray. So I just like to try and lay it out and smooth it out as evenly as possible. And then we bake this one in the oven before we top it with all of our toppings. If you don't have a baking tray this big, you can do it over 2. Or if you don't need this much pizza, because we make ours for our family of 5 and David will normally have the leftovers as well for lunch, then you can halve the recipe. So do 1 egg, 1 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 450 grams of sweet potato, and that'll work just as fine. So I'm just going to bake that in the oven for about 20-25 minutes before I add all my toppings and pop it back in for another 10 minutes. So this is what we're looking for, nice brown edges like that, and cooked. You can see that it's cooked all through. And then we're going to add our toppings and put it back in the oven for about 10 minutes. I'm just gonna add some barbecue sauce. Funny enough, I really don't like barbecue sauce on anything else, but I actually quite like it on this pizza with all the different ingredients as well. My husband likes a generous amount of barbecue sauce, but also the base will soak it up nicely as well. I cut up some of the sous vide chicken that I made, so I'm just gonna pop that on. I'm gonna add some of the capsicum that we sliced up earlier with the food processor. Some red onion. We also do some sliced brown mushroom. And of course, mozzarella cheese. We're gonna pop that back in the oven until the cheese is melted. Here is my delicious sweet potato based barbecue chicken pizza. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I am so excited. So I've just finished off this one. It's the last thing that I had to finish. As you can see, I've got everything set up there just to show you it all. But I'm so excited because that is our dinner and everyone is hungry and ready for that. So here it is all packed up before I put it in the fridge with all the lids on. That's going to go in the freezer, and same with the raspberry sorbet. And I'm going to keep that in the freezer, but I'm just going to cut it up and put it into a container just so it doesn't get any freezer burn on it. But that's everything besides the pizza, which we're going to eat, and then the leftovers will also go in the fridge as well. And that is the final fridge all packed away, ready for another week. So this week we've got so much snacks ready to go. We've got lots of fruit cut up, ready to go, washed, vegetables prepped. I've got my breakfasts ready. I've got some lunches ready to just put together as a wrap or a salad. I've got all the kids stuff, so it's just easy grab and go for lunch boxes, but that is the final result. So just want to say thank you so much for watching my Sunday reset. Thank you for all of your comments and love that you've shown and concern that you've shown while I've been gone. And I'm so sorry I've been gone for so long, and I hope to bring you much more content as much as I can before Bubsy comes. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Sunday reset, and I will see you next